This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have the chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. You will hear a phone call between a man and a receptionist about an evening language course. First, you have some time to read questions 1 to 6. Now listen and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good afternoon, Lakeside Adult Learning Centre. You're speaking with Rachel. How may I assist you?
Hi, Rachel. I'm calling to get some information about your part-time evening language courses. I'm interested in learning Spanish.
Great! We offer Spanish at 3 levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. May I ask if you've studied it before?
Not really. I know a few words from traveling, but I'd definitely say I'm a beginner.
Then our beginner's course is the one you'd want. It runs every Tuesday and Thursday evening from 6:30 to 8:30 and lasts 12 weeks.
That works perfectly. When does the next course start?
The next intake begins on the 5th of September and finishes on the 28th of November.
Great. And what's the cost?
It's £210 for the full 12 weeks. That includes your course materials, books, handouts, access to online practice tools, and a certificate on completion.
Sounds fair. Is payment due up front?
Yes, full payment is required at the time of registration. We accept credit and debit cards. And you can also pay by bank transfer.
Is there a deadline for registration?
Yes, we close registration 1 week before the start date, so by the 29th of August in this case.
Got it. And where exactly are the classes held?
The lessons are held at our main campus on Redford Road. That's in Building B, Room 14.
I know the area. Right next to the community library?
That's right. There's parking available on site, and the building is wheelchair accessible.
That's helpful. Is there any sort of placement test?
Not for beginners. But for intermediate and advanced students, we do a short online assessment to make sure they join the right level.
Makes sense. How many students are there in each class?
We try to keep the group small, between 10 and 15 students. That allows more interaction and personalised attention from the tutor.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Who teaches the course?
This term, it will be taught by Maria Torres. She's a native Spanish speaker with over 10 years of teaching experience, both abroad and here in the UK.
That sounds promising. So, what's the focus of the course? Grammar, conversation?
It's a mix, but we really emphasise practical communication. The aim is for you to be able to hold basic conversations by the end of the course. You'll also learn vocabulary for everyday situations, like ordering food, giving directions, and talking about your hobbies.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. I might be going to Spain next year, so this will be great preparation.
That's perfect timing then. Also, each student gets free access to our online language lab for 3 months. It includes listening exercises, vocabulary games, and grammar practice you can do at your own pace.
Oh, great. Is there homework?
Yes, You'll get light homework after each class, usually short writing or listening tasks that take 30 to 45 minutes.
That's reasonable. Is there a final exam?
There's a short assessment at the end, nothing formal. It's mainly to see how much you've learned and give you feedback.
And the certificate, what kind is it?
It's a certificate of attendance and participation. It's not an official qualification like daily, but it's good for CVs and applications.
Understood. Do students get any speaking practice outside of class?
Yes. We host a weekly language cafe every Saturday morning from 10 to 11:30. It's a casual gathering where students from different courses practice speaking over coffee and snacks. It's free and optional, but very popular.
That sounds really fun. Do you offer any discounts?
Yes, we offer a 10% discount for students, pensioners, and anyone unemployed.
That might apply to my friend, actually. I'll tell her.
Fantastic. Would you like me to email you the registration form?
Yes, please. Can you send it to martin.bishop82@gmail.com?
Done. You should receive it within the next few minutes.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Rachel. This has been very helpful.
My pleasure, Martin. Hopefully we'll see you in September.
I'm looking forward to it already. Take care.
You too. Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Part 2. You will hear a manager giving orientation session at Brookdale Organic Farm. First, you have some time to read questions 11 to 15. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Brookdale Organic Farm. I'm Naomi Carter, and I manage the day-to-day operations here. Whether you're here as a volunteer, intern, or just curious about how an organic farm works, we're thrilled to have you. Brookdale has been running since 1996, when it was started by my parents with just a few acres and a vision to farm without chemicals. Today, we cultivate over 40 acres of certified organic produce and also raise chickens and goats. Everything we grow is done using environmentally friendly practices, no pesticides, no artificial fertilizers, and absolutely no genetically modified seeds. The farm is divided into 4 key zones. First, we have the vegetable fields, where most of our seasonal crops are grown, including lettuces, squash, carrots, and kale. Next is the greenhouse complex, used for starting seedlings and protecting delicate plants. Then we have the animal pasture, home to our herd of goats and free-range chickens. Finally, there's the Visitor Education Center, where workshops, cooking classes, and school visits take place. As volunteers, your tasks will vary depending on the season and your interest. Right now, we're in the harvesting phase, so many of you will help pick crops in the mornings. We start early around 7:30 am and go until about 11, when it starts getting hot. After a break, there are usually tasks like weeding, sorting produce, or preparing boxes for our weekly farm share program, where locals pick up fresh produce each Friday. Animal care is another important task. The goats are milked twice daily, and the chickens need feeding and egg collection. We'll assign these roles based on comfort and experience, and provide full training. If you're assisting in the education center, you might help prepare materials for a class or lead short farm tour. These usually happen midday, especially when we have school groups. We ask all volunteers to wear closed-toe shoes, a hat, and bring a reusable water bottle. You'll also be given a yellow farm apron, which helps visitors identify you and protects your clothes. And lastly, every autumn we host a harvest celebration, a community day full of music, games, and food. Last year we had over 3,000 attendees, and volunteers helped with everything from grilling vegetables to organizing games for kids.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 16 to 20. Now, listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
Let's take a short break, and when we come back, I'll go over some of the changes we've made based on visitor feedback and improvements happening this season. Welcome back. In this next part of the orientation, I'll share some of the feedback we've received from visitors and how we've responded to it. Earlier this spring, we ran a short visitor survey, and over 400 people participated. One thing that came up frequently was signage. Many guests, especially first-time visitors, said it was hard to find their way around the property. In response, we've installed new wooden signs at key points, each with hand-painted illustrations and bilingual labels. We're also working on a printed visitor map, which should be ready by next month. Another area of concern was the picnic zone near the orchard. People loved having a shady place to relax, but some said it lacked enough seating. So, we've added more benches and upgraded the composting toilets nearby, making it more family-friendly and accessible. Next, we got suggestions to include more hands-on activities for children. Our team has since created a little farmer's trail, which includes scavenger hunts, seed planting, and a mini wheelbarrow course. It's been a huge hit, especially on school trips. Many guests also expressed interest in learning more about organic farming techniques. As a result, we've launched a Saturday morning demo series where our staff demonstrate composting, companion planting, and natural pest deterrents. The sessions are free and open to all. Lastly, a few visitors asked for healthier options at the small cafe near the entrance. While we already serve herbal teas and homemade muffins, we've now added freshly pressed vegetable juices and gluten-free wraps. These were introduced last weekend, and the response has been very positive. That's all for updates. You'll now be split into groups to tour your assigned zones and meet your supervisors. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. We're proud of the work we do here, and excited for you to be part of it.
That is the end of part 2. You have half a minute to check your answers. Part 3. Two students preparing a group presentation on artificial intelligence in healthcare for a technology and society course. First, you now have some time to read questions 21 to 25. Now, listen and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hey Maya, thanks for meeting up. We've got 2 weeks to prep for the Tech and Society presentation. Did you go over the potential topics?
Yeah, I did. I was drawn to the one on artificial intelligence in healthcare. It's a rapidly evolving area, and there's so much to explore: diagnostics, predictive models, robotics, and many other aspects.
That was my top pick too. It's relevant, and Professor James said it's a popular subject with examiners. We just need to approach it with a clear focus.
Right. Maybe we should narrow it down to a few key areas, like AI in diagnosis, patient monitoring, and maybe administrative support.
I like that. And we can include a short section on ethical concerns too, like data privacy and algorithmic bias.
Great. For structure, maybe we begin with an intro about what AI in healthcare means, followed by its current applications, and then wrap up with benefits, risks, and the future outlook.
Sounds good. I can handle the introduction. I'll explain how AI evolved in the healthcare sector, with a couple of definitions from journals.
Perfect. I'll take on the current applications. I found an article on how IBM's Watson was used for cancer diagnosis, really fascinating.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. There's also an example where AI was used to predict patient deterioration using hospital data.
Exactly. I'll cover both. Should we include 1 or 2 brief case studies?
Definitely. Real-world examples make the argument more concrete. I'll look into the use of AI in triaging patients in the NHS.
Good one. And we can add something on AI-powered robotic surgery. There's this Da Vinci robot that assists in minimally invasive procedures.
I'll check some clinical trial data to back that up.
Oh, and I was thinking, should we include a short comparison between AI accuracy and human diagnosis?
Yes. There's a recent study where an algorithm outperformed radiologists in detecting certain lung diseases. I'll dig that up.
Fantastic. For visuals, we can use comparison charts and maybe an infographic on AI systems used in hospitals.
Agreed. Now, what about primary data? Think we should do a short survey?
Maybe. We could ask students if they'd be comfortable with AI making health decisions about them.
That would fit well into our ethical concerns section. I'll draft the survey tonight and share the link.
Great. Also, Professor James emphasized referencing academic journals, at least 8 sources. Websites are okay but must be reputable.
Right. And he wants Harvard referencing, not APA, correct?
Yes, Harvard it is. I'll double-check with the citation guide.
Let's use a shared doc to track all our sources so we don't miss anything.
Agreed. For timing, we should aim to draft our sections by Saturday and work on slides Sunday.
Sounds good. And we can finalize the design Monday and rehearse Tuesday.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30. Now, about the delivery, do you think we should use a basic slide format?
Yeah. No animations. Keep it sleek and readable. Big headings, visual support, and minimal text.
Agreed. I'll take charge of the design template and color scheme. We should probably stick to blues and whites, something clinical looking.
Perfect. For the opening slide, should we use a question?
How about would you trust a machine to diagnose your illness? That immediately engages the audience.
Love it. And we can then move into the definition of AI in healthcare.
Also, for our theoretical framework, should we use technological determinism?
I was thinking more along the lines of human-centered design. It fits better when discussing systems that interact with people.
You're right. That ties in nicely with the ethical aspects. Let's go with that.
We should also be ready for Q&A. Someone might ask if AI will eventually replace doctors.
Yes, and we need a strong argument. Maybe emphasize that AI assists but doesn't replace human judgment, at least not in complex cases.
Good idea. Also, remember James said any images or graphs need full citations, even if they're royalty-free.
Already noted. I'm adding figure numbers and source info below each visual.
Alright, what time Tuesday should we rehearse?
Let's aim for 2 p.m. That gives us the morning to fix any last-minute changes.
Deal. Let's crush this presentation.
Absolutely. Let's make it the best one yet. That is the end of part 3. Now you have 30 seconds to check your answers. Part 4. You will hear a seminar about the development of the steam engine. First, you have some time to read questions 31 to 40. Listen and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, everyone. In today's lecture, we'll be discussing the development of the steam engine, a technological advancement that transformed transportation, manufacturing, and energy production during the Industrial Revolution. The invention and improvement of steam power not only changed how goods were produced and transported, but also helped lay the foundation for modern industrial society. The idea of using steam to perform mechanical work is not a modern one. As early as the 1st century AD, a Greek inventor named Hero of Alexandria created a simple device called an aeolipile, which used steam pressure to spin a metal sphere. While it demonstrated the potential of steam, it was never applied for practical use, and remained largely a novelty for centuries. It wasn't until the 17th century that serious efforts began to harness steam as a power source. The first practical steam-powered device was developed in 1698 by Thomas Savery, an English engineer. His machine, known as the miner's friend, was designed to pump water out of coal mines. The system worked by using steam pressure to force water up through a pipe, but it had limitations. It couldn't lift water from great depths, and was prone to boiler explosions due to high pressure. A major improvement came with Thomas Newcomen in 1712. Newcomen built what is considered the first operational steam engine. It used steam to create a vacuum that moved a piston, which in turn operated a pump. While still inefficient by modern standards, the Newcomen engine was a breakthrough. It was more reliable and could pump water from deeper mines, allowing mining operations to expand. The next key figure was James Watt, a Scottish engineer, who made substantial modifications to Newcomen's design in the mid-18th century. Watt added a separate condenser, which allowed the main cylinder to remain hot while the steam condensed in a separate chamber. This innovation drastically improved the engine's efficiency and reduced fuel consumption. Watt's engines were not only used in mining but also began to appear in factories and workshops. Another advancement introduced by Watt was the use of rotary motion. While previous steam engines primarily moved pistons up and down, Watt's system allowed the engine to turn wheels. This development enabled the steam engine to power textile mills, sawmills, and other forms of industrial machinery. The ability to generate rotational energy made steam a flexible and versatile power source. By the early 19th century, steam engines had become more compact and powerful. Engineers began adapting them for transportation, leading to the invention of steamships and locomotives. In 1807, Robert Fulton successfully launched the first commercially viable steamboat, the Clermont, which operated on the Hudson River. Steamships revolutionized water travel, allowing boats to move against currents and without reliance on wind. The development of the steam locomotive had an even greater impact. In 1825, George Stephenson built the locomotion No. 1, the first steam-powered train used for public rail service. His later creation, the rocket, set speed records and helped establish steam railways as the future of land transport. Railroads enabled the rapid movement of people and goods, accelerating industrial growth and connecting distant regions like never before. Steam engines also played a significant role in the mechanization of agriculture. Steam-powered threshers, tractors, and plows began to appear in the 19th century, reducing the need for human labor and animal power. These machines allowed farms to cultivate larger areas and increase productivity, which in turn helped feed growing urban populations. As industries adopted steam power, demand for coal increased dramatically. Coal was the primary fuel source for steam engines, and mining operations expanded to meet energy needs. This dependence on coal also had environmental consequences, contributing to air pollution and laying the groundwork for the industrial carbon emissions we grapple with today. While steam engines dominated the 18th and 19th centuries, they began to decline in the early 20th century with the introduction of internal combustion engines and electric motors. These new technologies were more compact, more efficient, and easier to start and stop. Still, the legacy of steam remains. It helped shape modern engineering, transformed economies, and changed how people viewed time, distance, and productivity.
That is the end of part 4. You have now 30 seconds to check your answers. You have now 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.